Not only are the Flames first in the Western Conference, but Johnny's playing the best hockey of his career. Last week, he was named an All-Star, and yesterday was named the NHL's first Star of the Week after registering 11 points in just 4 games. And who knows, maybe he'll win it again this week. Off to a hot start, was back at it again last night, scoring 2 goals as the Flames beat the Blackhawks 4-3. Gaudreau has now scored 14 goals in his last 13 games. Is he the MVP at the halfway point of this season?
Without a doubt, yes. 2 more goals last night. 13. Without a doubt, Johnny Hockey is the MVP at the halfway point. And hear me out, because I'll give the numbers to back it up. 13 points in his last 5 games. He now has 27 goals on the year. He has goals in 5 straight, the most points in the NHL since December 1st. And oh, by the way, his Flames, which not a lot of people predicted, are in first place in the West. I say not a lot of people predicted because I actually, just if you give me 1 second here, I don't know if it, I just want to go back and get, is it right on top? I didn't put it right on top, but have a look right here, Sebastian. Okay. Where do you want me, Matt? I'll go to wherever you want me. I'll go right here. Winnipeg or Calgary is the #1 seed in the West this year.
Well, I mean, look at
Mark my words, Winnipeg, Calgary is the number 1 seed. What?
17. That's from 2017.
Sorry, what are you saying?
That
says Tim McAuliffe is what it says. Tim McAuliffe is what it says. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did the Flames not miss the playoffs last year?
Oh, I was just a year early on that one. Just a year early on that one.
Although a great wedding ring.
You like that one?
I do. Yeah.
That's only my 3rd wedding ring. True story. Anyways.
But please clarify. Not your 3rd marriage.
I've lost 2 rings along the way. This is the 3rd one that I got.
All right.
I have actually. It might actually be the 2nd one that I got. I lost it for a long time. Found it. Long story. Oh, Johnny Hockey.
The old I lost my wedding ring and found it.
Yeah. Do you leave it on when you play sports?
Hell no.
Right.
I'm looking for a reason to take this off because it's uncomfortable.
Some people,
not because I don't love my spouse.
Some people look at me like you're crazy taking off your ring for sports, and I'm like the complete opposite. Like I saw a guy almost lose his finger with his ring while playing hockey.
But would you go the Andy Dalton with the rubber ring?
We're showing stats while we're talking about wedding rings. No, I wouldn't go that far. Let me just finish off with the numbers, okay?
Hit me.
64 points are 3rd in the league. The Flames lead the West. Halfway point, he is without a doubt the MVP. I say if Kucherov spaces out by the end of the year and Tampa stays where they are, he is a legit MVP candidate. But if it's this close, as we're looking at right now, and those 2 teams finish tops in their conference, I think people will give it to Gaudreau. And I think because most of the people who vote on this are in and around North America and are in and around the northern states, or at least north of Tampa. And they end up seeing this guy more than they see Kucherov. But that's part of the equation. If it stays the way it is right now, without a doubt, Johnny Hockey is your Hart Trophy winner.
Well, hearing there's some people on the line from British Columbia who feel a little bit disrespected because their guy is going for the Calder and the Hart. Having said that,
and the Hart,
I do agree.
Easy.
I'm just saying.
Easy. I'm on the bandwagon. Easy.
We had the conversation.
I might have started the bandwagon. Easy.
All right. British Columbia. His name is Tim McAuliffe. However, I agree with you, and you mentioned his numbers, which are crazy and better than Pettersson's at this point. For me, it's the numbers of the guys around him. There's 3 other guys on that team with 50 points, and we look at a guy like Lindholm, a guy who has 20 goals right now. His highest before that was 17.
Yeah.
The key, and we're talking about most valuable, is not just who's putting up the most points, who's making the guys around them better, and thus that's equaling a team who's on pace to get 112 points, which nobody, whether it was this year or last year like you, would have predicted.
Right. Let me say this, though. The one thing that troubles me, and Tkachuk's going to get paid. Like, Tkachuk, 50 points, like he's at a career high. Yeah. My guy is unbelievable. Monahan's been great. Giordano's having a wonderful, the story that is being written in Calgary is wonderful. The question becomes for me is it sustainable? And I ask this all the time when we see these hot streaks and we're on every day. I need to know whether or not the hype that we're giving a team is sustainable. And I wonder, as we were talking about Tampa Bay, the little man syndrome jumped into my head. And I wondered how many smaller stature superstars carried teams in the NHL playoffs. And the first name that popped into my head was Marty St. Louis with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
But I don't see it often. And when I watched the Leafs and the Bruins in the playoffs last year, and maybe it was just the matchup for the Leafs, I thought the Bruins did a real good job in hindering the process of Mitch Marner and William Nylander, and I wonder if the Flames won't be in the same spot with the way the NHL calls the game in the postseason. I think that's different from the way they call it in the regular season, and I don't think that benefits the littler guys.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you immediately thought of Marty St. Louis, I actually thought of as a comp Patrick Kane. And when you look at, for me, it's very similar players, and you look at what Gaudreau has been able to do at 355 games, he's got more points, he's got more goals and more assists, thus more points than Patrick Kane at the same time. And obviously Patrick Kane won multiple cups early in his career before he and Jonathan Toews got paid. The difference is he doesn't have Jonathan Toews to do some of that heavy lifting when he's on the ice. But I do think if I'm using Kane as a comp, that Gaudreau can continue to play this way in the playoffs and still be as effective.
Okay, let me ask you, and by proxy, Calgary fans, the question that most people are thinking as you're talking. Is there a Jonathan Toews on this team?
No.
Because
that's the difference. Yeah.
I mean, Sean Monahan's really good.
But he's not him.
I don't know at his prime if he is Jonathan Toews. And that's the part of this equation. Like Vinny LeCavalier was the shotgun to the Marty St. Louis.
Great point.
Like there is, and I think the Leafs, if we're going to have this conversation, I think you bring the Leafs into it because they've got these little, small stature superstar in Mitch Marner, and we'll see what William Nylander ends up being.
Right.
But the Leafs are in that conversation as well. And it'll be interesting because we'll talk to Louis DeBrusk a little later on. His son, 5 goals in that series against the Leafs. He watched that series rather closely.
Right.
It'll be interesting to talk to him about whether or not he thinks guys like Gaudreau will be given the space in the postseason like they get in the regular season. And a lot of that has to do with the whistle.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with the whistle.
Yeah. The thing I do like about Gaudreau, the thing I like about Marner, the thing that I am not seeing right now from William Nylander, and we'll get into this with DeBrusk if we have time, is when they're not scoring, they're able to do other things in their game to get them going. And that's why I think even if he's not lighting the lamp, Gaudreau could make a huge body check to change momentum in a series, and he'll still be an effective player.
You think Gaudreau can do that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because it's easier for, obviously, a guy like Tkachuk or a guy like Matthews and Tavares who win draws and play defensively well in their own zone. But when you are that guy, if you're not putting up ridiculous points, can you do other things to affect the game?